friends, today we are doing something that I encourage everybody to do, and that's give second chances. Give further chances. Give chances to authors you may not be obsessed with. And today we are going to be reading 3 books by authors that I have not loved. One of the authors I have notoriously disliked, and the other 2 I have found very mid. And with that, I'm hoping that one of these books, maybe 2 of them, maybe all 3 of them, will change my mind. And I'm very excited to go on this journey with you. Welcome back to Bookmas. I hope you guys are having a great time. Isn't this the most fabulous flannel you've ever seen in your life? Truly, I found it on eBay like 2 years ago. Best purchase I've ever made. But start with the first book. If you guys have been around, you know I've been working through this series by Emily McIntyre. I've given both books, I believe, 3 stars. And I just think they're part of the issue is the audio narrator. Why do I keep listening to him on audio when I think the narrator is awful? We're going to move past it, but this is book 3 in the Sugar Lake series, and I just think the covers of these books are beyond stunning. And this book is about Jackson, who I believe is the character in the other books who I love. So I've been really excited to get to his book, and I have a feeling that this one will be my favorite thus far. But this one is about Jackson. He has the perfect smile and a broken heart. When he gets offered his dream job in Hollywood, he has to pack up and leave. He thought he was hired to restore classic cars, but instead his new boss tasks Jackson with keeping an eye on his unruly 19-year-old daughter. Jackson agrees reluctantly, not realizing doing so will change his entire life. Blakely Donahue is one of the biggest influencers in North America. She's followed by millions, but has never felt more alone. Obsessed with counting calories and drowning under the pressure of perfection, she's barely holding herself together. When her father's new employee starts hanging around, Blakely can't help but feel the pull. Jackson is 9 years older and entirely off limits, but he's the first person to look beyond the surface and see Blakely for who she truly is. Before either of them can stop it, they're crossing boundaries and breaking all the rules. They know better than to get too close, but for some reason, neither can stay away, even if it means destruction for them both. So hopefully that one's good. Next, we have My December Darling by Lauren Asher. I have read the first book in the fine print. I forget the name of that series, the Dreamland Billionaire series, possibly. I don't love a billionaire romance, and I think that's what Lauren is very famous for writing, which is great. I know a lot of people do enjoy that. I just personally don't. But this is a novella because for Miss Lauren, 232 pages is a few, very little amount. This is about Catalina and Luke. In the back says, Catalina, playing the part of my sister's maid of honor is easy, even if she's marrying my ex. But playing nice with the best man, an impossible task given our history. Sure, Luke Darling may be suspiciously kind, incredibly handsome, and stubborn to a fault, but regardless of how hard he tries to make me see otherwise, I am not interested. It's on me to remind him that he's my ex-boyfriend's best friend, and the one I'm secretly starting to wish I met first. Luke. My job as the best man is a simple one, except for one minor issue. I have been spending so much time avoiding my best friend's ex that I didn't consider what would happen if I started craving Catalina Martinez's company instead. She is only in Lake Wisteria for the winter wedding, but her January departure date won't stop me from pursuing her. Getting her to date me would be nothing short of a Christmas miracle, but I am determined to make her mine. 'Tis the season to fall in love, even if I'm the only one taking a risk. And then to switch it up, we do have a horror book. I have notoriously hated Darcy Coates. I gave Ghost Camera 1 or 2 stars, and I DNF'd Hunted. So here's hoping. This cover is so creepy. And she has so many good books, and I want to support a woman who writes horror. But they've just been very slow. I really want to read this one on audio. I think it might help with my issues with her books, but I digress. No one escapes the stillness. Claire remembers the cold. She remembers abandoned cars and children's toys littered across the road. She remembers dark shapes in the snow and a terror she can't explain. And then, nothing. When she wakes, aching and afraid in a stranger's Gothic home, he tells her she was in an accident. He claims he saved her. Claire wants to leave, but a vicious snowstorm has blanketed the world in white, trapping them together, and there's nothing she can do but wait. At least the stranger seems kind, but Claire doesn't know if she can trust him. He promised they were alone here, but she sees and hears things that convince her something else is creeping about in the surrounding woods, watching, waiting. Between the claustrophobic storm and the inescapable sense of being hunted, Claire is on edge and increasingly certain on one thing. her car wasn't in an accident. Something is waiting for her to step outside the fragile safety of the house. Something monstrous, something unfeeling, something desperately hungry. So that sounds really spooky, and I hope that we can get a better rating for these authors in today's video. I'm in desperate need of switching gears. I have read 3 Christmas romances back to back, and so I need something spooky up in here. So we are going to start Voices in the Snow. I am very worried. As you guys know, we are trying out some authors that I haven't been obsessed with, and of the 3 authors in this book, this is the other ones I've given 3s to. This is the author that I've only ever given a 2 or DNF, Miss Darcy Coates. So here's to hoping that this one does the trick and we can like it a little bit better. But I'll check in when I know what it's about. Okay friends, we are about halfway through Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates, and this is actually going pretty well. I'm not going to DNF it, I am going to finish it, and it's going to get minimum 3 stars, maybe 4 stars, depending on how it goes. So in this book, we've got our main girl, Claire. We start out the story with her driving in her car during some sort of snowstorm. And she's trying to call somebody, it's really bad out, she shouldn't have left her house, and then snap, we wake up and it is the next morning. She is in immense amounts of pain. Her head is throbbing. She's got blood caked in her hair. She's got slashes on her body. She's bandaged up. She's got stitches. And she's laying in a bed in a weird house with a strange man in the room. And she's like, where the F am I? She wakes up, he notices her, he basically tells her that she was in some sort of accident, she got in a car crash, he found her, and she was literally bleeding out. He tried calling 911, but the phone lines are down because of this storm, and so he brought her back to his family's, like, estate in the middle of this forest that his family owns. It's this huge house, and she's immediately kind of, like, sussed out about this guy. Naturally. But as time is going on, things are getting weirder and weirder. There has been a non-stop blizzard for like many days now because she had been asleep for 3 days and he's like, I don't know what's going on, like it won't stop blizzarding, like this is very strange, this is not normal, what the heck. So we're sort of learning the story about his family and this house and it being weird. And Claire is healing from these injuries and they're kind of worried because they have a set amount of like fuel to like provide electricity to the house. And they have a set amount of food and they're worried about like how long is this going to last because it's been days and days and days now. So they start like a garden and they're doing all these things to try to like provide for themselves during this storm. And Claire starts to see this haggard woman. The first time is when she's looking for, well, I can't remember his name. It starts with a Doran. That's his name. It's like starts with a D. So she is looking for Doran while she's planting the seeds and she has a question for him because there's no instructions on where to plant these things, like spacing, whatever. So she goes to find him and she thinks he's downstairs in this cellar. Turns out it's like this wine cellar and she sees like a door with like a haggard, creepy woman, okay? And she starts screaming for him. He comes and he's like, there's no doors down there. It's literally just a wine cellar. She's like, no, there is, and there's somebody down there. They go down there. There's no door. There's no woman. So now at night, she keeps seeing and hearing this woman who's like trying to get her. And she's like, maybe this place is haunted. And he's like, no, I don't think that's the case. My prediction now is that, mild spoiler. Fast forward to me not being here talking about this. If you don't want to know my prediction. My prediction is that he is a bad guy. He killed his mom. Because what we know so far about his mom is that like she cyanide poisoned mad people in the family who like tried to leave. So my prediction is that he killed her and now she's haunting them. But who knows? But we're going to continue on. So far, so good. I am enjoying it. I did listen to like the first 4 chapters and then I was like, I wasn't paying attention and I had to start it over. But now that we're paying attention, I'm enjoying it. Let's go finish her up. Alrighty friends, Voices in the Snow has been complete. I ended up giving this book 3 stars, and there are some very important reasons. My predictions were, you know, not the vibes this book was giving, okay? This book took the turn, maybe I don't even know that I really read what this was about or looked much into it. This gave a less interesting version of Bird Box. It ended up going a more like sci-fi route, which I was not expecting. I was expecting it to stay more in the like horror ghost realm rather than like something is happening to society and it's giving like dystopian sci-fi. I didn't expect it to take that turn, but yeah, I was going to give it a 4 for most of the book, and then towards the end there was a reveal, and the way that it played out was so corny, like so corny and so cringy that I had to simply give it a 3. And something else happened at the end that was kind of like a cliffhanger, because this is, I think, like a 3-book series. I'm not planning on continuing, I don't care that much. That I was like, okay, maybe it is a 4, but that one part was just like, I was like 15 to 20% at the end of the book, and it was just so beyond cringe that I simply can't give it a 4. So I am counting this as a win though, because I've only ever given Darcy Coates 2 stars or DNF'd. So finishing it as a 3 and enjoying most of the book, we count that as a win in my book. I think we'll probably read My December Darling next because I have the audio for that, but we will see what we get up to. Okie dokie, guys. We are about to get started on My December Darling. This is technically a novella, even though it's like 200 pages, but the audio for this is only 6 hours, and I listen to audio at 3 times speed, so this will be a very quick adventure. I'll come in when we're about halfway through to let you guys know what it is about. I'm laughing because its name is Catalina. The girl's name is Catalina, and I just finished a different video where there was a girl named Catalina in it. So I'm like, it's such like a random name to read like 2 books with Catalinas in it back to back. But oh my god, the chapter pages are so cute. And that's holy macaroni. But I have previously given Fine Print by Lauren Asher 3 stars. That leaning more so into the fact that I don't love a billionaire romance. I don't know that this is billionaire. I think she mainly writes billionaire. So we will see, but we're going to jump into this after I eat some lunch because I'm starving to death. I fear I got distracted, and I'm now closer to 60% of the way through instead of 50, but you know. So in this book, we've got our main character, girl Catalina, and our main guy's name is Luke. Catalina is the maid of honor, and Luke is the best man for this wedding, for Catalina's sister and Luke's roommate slash best friend. The thing is that Catalina and the groom used to date. So I thought that was going to be weird, but it ends up being less weird. It's more so giving that they were friends and they tried like to be more than friends. Like they never had sex, anything. Like she is a travel nurse, so she was never in town. It was literally more just like platonic friendship with the title of significant other. And you find out that like her sister Gabriella basically liked this guy more than Catalina ever did, and Catalina kind of has a lot of guilt that she didn't notice it and made things harder for her sister, blah blah blah. So her sister's now marrying this guy. Their relationship is kind of strained, Catalina and Gabriella, because of this awkwardness. But Catalina kind of makes herself scarce with her family because she's a travel nurse and she doesn't want to settle down anywhere. She is very much so like a free spirit. So we have Luke. He is a doctor, and like I said, she's a nurse. And because there's going to be a lot of festivities for the wedding, which is at Christmas time, over the next couple of months, she just has her agency basically find her a temporary job placement in their town for the next month. So she is working in the NICU at the same hospital that Luke is a doctor. So they're running into each other and they start doing things as like groups, and it's apparent that he likes Catalina, and now her sister and ex/future brother-in-law are kind of trying to work them into dating. So far it's been pretty cute. We're finding out like Luke has a very strained relationship with his family, and though Catalina's family is very close, we're finding out bits and pieces about her mom, and her mom's way of showing love is not how Catalina needs it, and it makes Catalina feel very judged and misunderstood by her family, and they're working through that. And I think so far it's been a pretty cute, fun time. I'm quite enjoying it. Right now it's a 4, and I'm excited to see where it goes, honestly, because I think they're actually pretty cute together. Their banter is really good. I think they have a lot of chemistry. And another issue that I have with Lauren Asher is her books are a bit long-winded for my personal taste, for the most part. I only like a long romance if it's slow burn, and her books are not slow burn, so when they're that long, I'm a little bit like, not a fan. So I think this being only 200 pages is perfect, and it's 60%, and they haven't kissed yet. So we love to see it, having a great time, and I'm gonna go finish her up. And just like that, we are finished. This continued to be really, really, really sweet. I feel like this book really managed to pack so much character development and character growth within 200 pages. And usually my issue with novellas is that I feel like I'm wanting more. But because this novella is 230 pages, like I've read books that are considered not, like this says novella on it, but I've read like full-length books that are not considered a novella, that are like an equal amount of pages. So I feel like it was a really great amount, like a great length, where it didn't feel like Lauren was waffling on and on and on and on and on and boring me to death, but we still had enough time with Catalina and Luke to really develop their characters. And I think that this was really a win, because this book really did fix all of the issues I had with fine print, the length. This was not the billionaire trope. And I wish that Lauren Asher would do more books that are not billionaire romances. And I'm the type of person who, I like my romances to feel very realistic. I like there to be something that would pull at your strings, like in this Luke's relationship with his family and Catalina's issues with her mom. Like, I want there to be something that feels real, and that's a big issue that I have with a lot of billionaire romances, is there's so many billionaire romances, but that many hot 20-something billionaires in the real world, not so much. So, that one is a win. And next up will be Beneath the Hood. It says I'm like, I think next in line for it. So if it happens to come in over the next, if it comes in tomorrow, I will listen to it tomorrow. Otherwise, I will listen to it on Saturday, because I get my credits for Everand on Saturday, and that'll be perfect. But this one was a win, and I'm very happy about it, because this book is so cute. I didn't want to have to unhaul her. It's time. We are going to get started on the audio. I finally got the audio for Beneath the Hood by Emily McIntyre. I read the other books in this video, which was the Darcy Coates book and the Lauren Asher book weeks ago. And this audio, literally, from the day that I requested it, it said about 2 weeks wait, up until I finally got it. And it's been obnoxious waiting for her. But she has arrived. We have got her, and we are going to get started. This is book 3 in the Sugar Lakes series. This is Jackson's story. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, and I will check in with you guys when I am about halfway done. Okay guys, we are about halfway through this book, and I do have to say, I do think it is going to be another 3-star. I might have given book 2 in the series 4-star, because I did really enjoy book 2, but this one has some tropes that I'm really not enjoying. So basically, this is the book about Jackson. We first meet Jackson in book 1. He is Aaliyah, he calls her Lee. he is her best friend, and he's basically been like, had a crush on her for forever. She kind of dragged him along, and then whenever her childhood crush came back to town, abandoned him. So he's still like pining after this girl, and he decides he's gonna go for his dream job working at this like mechanic shop in LA. So he moves to LA. Then we've got our female main character. Her name is Blakely, and her dad runs the shop that he is working for, and I think they like, yeah, they restore classic cars like for different shows and stuff. So her family's pretty wealthy, and she is a social media influencer. She's 19 and he is 28, I believe. They've talked about their age difference about 8,362 times, as well as him talking about, like, because he has like his friend, I gotta go look up her name because it's really gonna bother me. Alina. He has Alina like programmed in his phone as sweetheart. So Blakely is like seeing these things and getting really like mixed signals from him because he's acting into her, but then is like, oh, our age difference. And then in his inner monologue, he's like, oh my god, I have feelings for two people, blah blah blah. And it's just like very corny. But check your trigger warnings for this book, because Blakely is very seriously struggling with disordered eating. She tracks everything that she eats, is constantly freaking out about her weight. It's very weight focused in regards to her and her social media and the paparazzi and this, that, and the other thing. So she and he are kind of like sneaking around because they want to be together, but her dad's like, you would never do that. Because he basically, the reason they started hanging out is Blakely's dad asked Jackson to kind of follow her around as basically her babysitter, and through this they started talking, and like she always be hitting on him just because she thinks it's funny, but then he's like starts hitting on her back. And so whenever pictures of them show up on the internet being like, who's her mystery man, her dad calls Jackson into his office and is basically like, yeah, like they don't know that I sent you out there, and you would never cross those lines with my daughter. Mind you, he's already crossed them. So it's feeling like a 3. I don't love this trope that like he is so like in love with somebody else. Like I hated his relationship with Alina in book 1. I thought she was a bitch towards him, and I'm not really sure why he's still pining over her, because it's giving pathetic. Hate to say it, but it is. And so yeah, as of right now it's feeling like a 3-star, but this cover is stunning. Alrighty friends, we are done with Behind the Hood, and I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I mean, come on, we saw that coming. I did like the way that they depicted. I did also suspect that Blakely had OCD, and I did like the way that they did handle her OCD tendencies and her eating situation, her disordered eating. I did like that it was addressed. It was getting close to the end and they had not really addressed it, and I was like, please tell me that we're gonna talk about this at some point, because it's been like a good chunk of the book is her writing down what she ate and counting her calories and over exercising and the whole 9. But they did end up talking about it, and I did like how it wrapped up. I liked how it ended. I think it's my least favorite of the 3 books in this series I have read. I'm most excited about the next one. While we're here, I will look and see what I gave the second book, because I think I gave the second book 4 stars, and I gave, what did I give it? Yes, I gave the second book 4 stars, and I gave the first book 3 stars, and this one's also gonna get 3 stars. Not my favorite thing I ever read, but also it was still a nice time, a sweet time. And I really did enjoy the ending. But that is everything, friends. And the day you guys are watching this, I believe, if my calculations are correct, is Christmas Eve. So, yes. Happy Christmas Eve. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the last day of Vlogmas. Bye!